Yeah, thank you, Javed. Respected Chairman, Sir, Shri Panduranga Reddy Garu, Vice Chairman, Shri Vibhav Reddy Garu, all the principals of Sri Dattha institutions, uh, beloved faculties, and all the young and dynamic students of Sri Dattha institutions. It's indeed very uh, good feeling to see all first year students also joining, and many of the students are showing keen interest in today's session. It's actually meant for them and for the faculty, so it's a good sign that they have logged in on time. So, as you all know, this event is conducted under the institution's innovation cell, a status granted to our college by Ministry of Education. And under this banner, we are conducting an event today that is a curtain raiser, or you can say a kind of knowledge session on what is our national education policy and what is the content of the policy and what role it has for the teachers in school as well as in higher education institutions. So I would like to start the session with a note that I have read and come across, which is very interesting. I think everybody here in the audience might have been knowing about Steve Jobs, who created a world's biggest organization called Apple Incorporation. And if you just read his autobiography or his life, you can see that he was a college dropout. He took admission after his high school in a college called Reed College, and after one semester, he discontinued the studies, and he had other kind of inclinations and passions. So he learned the calligraphy in between, and if you see, it looks kind of chaotic career line of Mr. Steve Jobs. But when you see what kind of outcome it brought in his life, its history he has created, and he can we can say that he's in the few persons who are in the epitome of innovations and invention. That calligraphy, what he learned after dropping from the college, he incorporated that in his iPhone fonts. If you see the fonts of iPhone, they are much different from any other smartphone. So that is where the learning went. Nothing goes waste in learning. That's what I want to say. And the other point which I wanted to prove was that such kind of facility was not or is not there now also. Before the drafting of the national education policy, there was no provision that a student can follow some of the subjects of his own interest into the engineering courses he is undergoing, or medical courses he is undergoing, or any other course is undergoing. One of the main crux of this national education policy is having a focus on interdisciplinary approach. A student can take up any course of his choice other than the regular courses he'll be learning. Like, for example, if student wants to learn music because he has interest in music, he did not leave engineering course and join a music school. He can still learn music, and the same subject music will be incorporated in his marks card, and he will get marks for it. So the focus is on interdisciplinary approach, and as you all know that all these years we have been following an education policy that was more based upon rote learning, that had very less space for creativity, or less space for interdisciplinary approach, or very less space for innovations, research, and ideation. So what I mean to say is that the Indian context of education, if you just closely watch, we are very much arid in experimentation. What do I mean? What I mean to say is that we more focus on the theoretical aspects than the practical aspects, or in the research-based education, we are very poor. Students, are very good or very sound with theoretical knowledge, but when it comes to practical approach, they drastically fail. And this is where, we are lagging or lacking when it comes to other developing countries. So why are we not leveraging the policy of government of startup and stand up India, or the concept of make in India? It's because we are experimentally arrayed. Our students, our children, they have not been exposed to experiment on their own because of the fear of parents or because of the discouragement of teachers. But now this policy has brought that into the center focus. Uh, on the lighter note, what I can say is that the students which are enrolling in engineering courses in particular, or in pharmacy or in diploma, they have been subjected to a kind of learning where there was no focus on nurturing their questioning abilities, or nurturing the deep spirit of inquiry. Uh, I personally feel that, their learning has been rubbed off in all this 10 years or 12 years of schooling or high school. And what is brought to the plate of engineering college professors and management is those students who are deprived of experimentation. They have lost the ability to question the status quo. They have lost the sense of inquiry or spirit of inquiry, and we are supposed to make them something beautiful or awesome out of these 4 years. That is the biggest challenge we face, because it's not possible to revive what they have lost or what they have learned, or it's not possible to make them unlearn the wrong things in a 4 years of span. So this policy again can be more effective after 15 years from now, because this policy is not just drafted for higher education institutions, it is drafted right from the school level. So there is a lot of creativity, provided in the education policy for schooling, and we can assume that after 15 years from now, the kind of students engineering college will get will definitely be much creative than the present generation. In spite of all the wrongs done in the schooling, we still have a very brilliant brains available in our society. They have developed lots of innovation in our country. But imagine if the entire generation which are going to school from now onwards, after 15 years from now, they can be the best brains in the world with this policy. Earlier policies were only having incremental additions and deletions, but this policy is totally structured, what I can say, restructured kind of policy. So what is required is to nurture the brains in the schools and colleges for asking questions, for questioning the status quo, because the creativity begins from the sense of inquiry. Creativity begins from the art of questioning. So this is the part which is much focused in the education policy, and active learning has been given a lot of impetus. All these years we were talking about how to bring active learning in the classes, but not much had been done to implement it tooth and nail. But this policy, which is being brought up by the government, and this will be monitored by the regulatory bodies, and they will be constantly and consistently checking whether the colleges are implementing or not. Though it's a difficult task, because unless and until the state government synchronizes with the central government, and unless and until the teachers synchronize and the students synchronize, this policy may not get the required justice. So what I feel is that the creativity part in the policy, the active learning proposed in the policy, the kind of innovation and ideation which has been given a bigger space, and research in particular is given a lot of impetus. So with this kind of ingredients, I feel that the policy will definitely bring a lot of change in the entire educational sphere, and it will develop students which are industry ready, as all these years we are talking about. They will be problem solvers, they will be having creative mind, and also they can take up and interdisciplinary courses. If any student, as I said, is interested in arts and science, they can definitely, without leaving the engineering degree, follow up that course. So what is the role of a faculty in this academic policy? What I feel is that we as a faculty, when I say faculty, I'm including myself in it. We do not want to go out of the comfort zone. We are very much happy with the chalk and talk kind of concept of learning or delivering knowledge. But I think this has become outdated now. As one of the Padma Bhushan professor of IIT Bombay rightly said, that the future teachers are not just deliverer of knowledge. They should be enablers of learning. They should be acting as a consultant, or they should be acting as a facilitator for making the learning happen. So what is required is that with this new policy, or with the advent of this new policy, and if this policy has to go as per the expected outcomes of the planning commission and the academic brains that have drafted this, what is required is change of mindset. Change of mindset, both in the both sides, from the student side as well as the faculty side. And change of mindset do not require a huge amount of funds or huge infrastructure. Change of mind requires a thought, a propelling thought that, let me take up this as a challenge. Let me take up this as a kind of, responsibility where I can bring a 360-degree change in the learning outcomes. So this is what is the role of a teacher. And I have been attending many sessions related to the new academic policy with regard to education. And one of the renowned person who is Sanjeev Sancheti, he was the vice chancellor of SRM now. He is going to take on the charge of a vice chancellor in Chandigarh University. He said that this policy should have been transformed into an action plan for getting the expected outcome. So there are two resource persons for the event today. That is Dr. Senthil Kumar and Dr. R. Vignesh, who will be enlightening all the audience in the event today with regard to what the academic policy, the national education policy holds for teachers and students and the society as a whole. I would thank the organizers of this event for giving this opportunity, particularly our chairman Garu. I feel that the vision what he had seen 20 years back has come into a policy now from the government. He has been a torchbearer of active learning from the beginning, but unfortunately or fortunately, today his vision or his thoughts has come in the form of black and white, in the form of policy. So I feel that we should welcome, as a teaching fraternity, this policy with both the hands and study it and try to implement it in our everyday of academic life, and see to it that this policy gets its due respect and gets the expected outcome in shaping, sculpting, and creating the future citizens of India who are more creative, who are more innovative, who are more thought processing minds, who are more of problem solvers, so that we can see a better shape in the society, so that India can become self-reliant, India can become a land of opportunities, India can become a land of enterprises, and we'll reach that $5 trillion kind of economy with this kind of initiatives from the government. So I once again thank the management, Sri Dattha institutions, and the organizers of this event for giving me this opportunity to give a starting address to this event. And I wish that this day comes out very well, and end of the day, the takeaway should be that everybody should be knowing what is the national education policy of India. So Jai Hind, and thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Definitely, let's hope for the best, sir. I would like to welcome our pharmacy principal, Sri Dattha Institute of Pharmacy, Principal Dr. S.S. Srinivas Garu. Please put some light on this event. Sir, you are in mute.
Yeah, good afternoon. Is it audible?
Yes, sir, it's audible, sir.
So, good afternoon, everyone. So, dignitaries, as already our directors are told, the national education policy is being framed for the betterment of the education throughout the India. So, definitely, interdisciplinary and the hobbies and other things are taken care in this. So definitely whenever a draft is prepared, so there will be certain advantages as well as disadvantages also. So the present national education policy is having more of advantages with less of disadvantages. Maybe these advantages will disadvantages will vanish over a period of time when this national education policy is put practically into where all the institutions, universities will start following this. So, hoping that the education will bring reform in the student sector, and wishing all the best for the organizers planning this event, conducting for the educational institutions. So best of luck to all, and I conclude myself. Thanks for giving me an opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Sir, I would like to invite our Vice Chairman, Dr. GNV Vibhav Reddy Garu, please for 2 minutes. Sir, can you please address the participants, sir?
Good afternoon, one and all, respected dignitaries and dear students and faculty. For today's event on the national education policy that has been framed, the information that I have with regard to this particular subject is very limited, but to the extent to which I know or which I have read, I understand that Sri Dattha institutions is in a way aligned to the same policy with regard to innovation and entrepreneurship, at least. We have been trying to inculcate this particular kind of interest in students from the past 3 years or 4 years since the beginning of our clubs and other activities. And with regard to how the education policy is framed, they are outcome-based outcome-based education. I think our faculty members will definitely agree that we have done n number of sessions on explaining how the outcome-based education works and how we wanted our students and our college to run on the same lines. For example, NBA is of one such example. And I think we are aligned with the national policy, and we are happy that at last some good change, some important and crucial change that had to happen in the starting stages of education are going to happen now. Even I am actually interested in to know about the policy myself in this session. So I'll probably participate throughout the session to understand and listen to the speakers. And I congratulate everybody and wish everybody a happy new year. So we can start this session with a very good this year with a very good session, and with very good knowledge on how things are going to change this year. So I thank everybody to give me this opportunity, and all the best to all the students. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. We also wish you a happy new year. Let's hope this COVID will vanish and we have a great life ahead.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I would like to invite now our chairman, sir, G. Panduranga Reddy Garu. More than 200 students are here, sir. So we want a beautiful words from you. We want to have a guidance from you, sir.
I'll do one thing, Javed, let the
Sir,
speakers may speak, then I'll conclude it. Because,
sure, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
please, because they are most important, no? Then I'll
Yes, sir.
conclude it. Okay?
Okay, okay, sir. Okay, sir. So I would like to invite our speakers to take the session. Dr. Vignesh Garu and Dr. Senthil Garu can take over the session and start your session, sir.
Good afternoon to all. So, respected Chairman of Sri Dattha Institutions, Sri G. Panduranga Reddy Garu, and beloved Vice Chairman, Sri Vibhav Reddy Garu, and our beloved Director, Dr. M.D. Sameeruddin Garu, and the SDAP Principal, Dr. Srinivas Garu. Before the NEP National Education Policy 2020 is divided into two ways. One is related to school education, another one is related to higher educational institutions related issues. So now I would like to invite Dr. Vignesh to talk about school education. So later I'll be continuing related to higher education. Dr. Vignesh.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope the PPT is visible.
No, sir. PPT is not visible now. Yeah, it is fine.
Is it visible now, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, good afternoon, everyone. I'm extremely happy, and I would like to thank Chairman, sir, Vice Chairman, sir, and Director, sir, for providing me this wonderful opportunity to discuss and highlight the salient features of this National Education Policy 2020. So I will start with one Tamil quote naming Oduvadu Oriyel, which means never stop learning. So we know that learning is an endless process. So whatever the mode or whatever the way we learn any new thing, it is going to help us in the long term. So to start with the basic introduction, we know that there are a number of eminent scholars from India who flew higher in international arena from ancient days till today. And there have been number of fields explored such as arts, astronomy, mathematics, and medicine. And there are different fields where our Indian scholars have risen through a great height. So they provided their valuable knowledge in finding new innovations and discoveries. So now when we come to our modern world, so with the advent of new technologies and advances, anything is possible from anywhere. So here I would like to start with this National Education Policy 2020. So it is a basic structure. They have done a basic structure. The government has produced a basic structure on how should this education move forward in the future. So just starting with that, I'm just moving to the next slide. So this is where it started actually, initiation. So this Dr. Kasturi Rangan committee, they were the one who drafted this policy 2020. So before this, there were a lot of advances to this national NEP 2020. So when we go for the older type of educational reforms they had in our India, when different governments have taken place in different reforms and different transformation has been taking place. The first starting with the University Education Commission, which is started in 1948-49. Similarly, there were number of education policies under different names, under different eminent personalities who drafted these different policies. Secondary Education Commission in 1952-53, then Education Commission, National Policy on Education, 42nd Constitutional Amendment. So these are the listed one are the different types of educational reforms they had in their mind and which was drafted in different times. So the latest one, which is Dr. Kasturi Rangan committee, Dr. Kasturi Rangan and their team had a wonderful, their team was wonderful and they drafted this education policy for over 3 years and then they later submitted this proposal to the government. And after getting a lot of commitments from different people, different suggestions were given by different people, and then the original policy was submitted to the government. So when you see the vision of this National Education Policy 2020, so the first vision is it should provide high quality education for everyone. That is the main important policy. It wants high education, but it should be provided to the all sections of the people. That's the first one. It tells about the equality of education to everyone. And the next one, it also takes into consideration of fundamental rights, duties, and constitutional values for the development of the country. And the second one, it provides or it instills skills, values among each and every human, and it also looks after human rights for the sustainable development of a living and global well-being. So to become a truly global citizen, these three visions are taken into this National Education Policy. So this is about the vision of National Education Policy 2020. So when you see the basic structure of National Education Policy, there are four parts in it. The first one is school education. So there were a number of inclusions made in the school education because school education is the basic and fundamental aspect in any of the students' development. So there have been more changes and implementation available in this school education. And the next part is higher education. Third one is other key areas of focus, which means the digital learning, adult learning, and those things are included in this key areas of focus. And fourth part is how this government is going to implement this national education policy in a successful manner. So here in this one, I'm going to explain about part one, that is school education. The second part, higher education, and the other key areas of focus will be explained by Dr. Senthil Kumar. So what is the key principles of national education policy? What does it influences or what it gives? So it gives diversity and local content, which means there is a change in the curriculum, which includes multidisciplinary aspects in the curriculum, and the different policies, different new structures have been given to this national education policy. So it provides the diversity in the subject and the curriculum. And next one is equity and inclusion. This is one of the vision we have already seen. So it needs to provide the education, high quality education for all sections of the people. So this is about equity and inclusion. Community participation. The next one is community participation is nothing but not only the government provides the funding and other ideas and policies for the development of a nation, also it includes different non-governmental organizations and the philanthropic agencies where they can help in improving the National Education Policy 2020. So when you go for education, now we know understand the importance of technology, what we are using at this COVID time. We are using more number of technology. So by using the advancement and the advantages of technology, so the government is planning to improve the technological aspects in the education system. So this is the fourth point where we are seeing the National Education Policy 2020. So when we come to this point, conceptual understanding, there have been number of examples cited to the government that many students and many higher people, there were a lot of difficulties in the current system of education, where it focuses on only rote learning, and exams are also been very difficult. Students found it very difficult in the exams. So there have been some changes in the understanding of the subjects. So they were focusing on conceptual understanding. So that is also included in this National Education Policy 2020. And then this is one of the important one. The next one is unique capabilities. So here each one of the student or each one of the person is unique in their own strength. So this National Education Policy focuses on unique capabilities of each student. So how we are going to find out the unique capabilities in each student, that also they have given more guidelines on how to find out the special talents in each of the students. So that is also included in this National Education Policy. Critical thinking and creativity is the next one. So when people are found to be unique, they will have some critical thinking and the creativity in their own mind. So in order to improve that critical thinking and creativity, some guidelines have been given for in the National Education Policy. So which will provide a lot of innovations and discoveries in the in our practical world. Then finding out the special talents and finding out the creativity. So it also focuses on continuous reviewing of each and every educational expert. They will be getting suggestions from education experts to improve this national education policy further. And after implementing it, we will be getting more to know about this national education policy. So these are some important principles which this national education policy is focused on. Next one, so when we told about education, I'm discussing about the school education. So when we come to school education, it's the most fundamental and basic thing where a child should have focus on. So the child, being a child, there are a number of difficulties and challenges in each and every child, because everyone is unique. We don't know the mindset of the student. So it's a step-by-step process. So how this national education policy has clearly given guidelines to early childhood care and education, that is ECCE. So we are going to see. So the first step is the foundational learning curriculum. So they have divided the childhood education into different categories or groups. So the first one is foundational learning curriculum, that is for age group from 3 to 8. So here in this, in 3 to 8, they have classified into again two parts, that is from age 3 to 6 in ECCE and 6 to 8 in class 1 and 2 in the primary school. And the next stage goes to preparatory class. So this is prior to the age of 5, they will be in the Palvatika. That is before going into this foundational learning curriculum, they will be having this preparatory class till the age of 5. And then this universal access. So how this 3 to 6 in ECCE is divided in the subject. And how this education is going to be there, it is through multifaceted, flexible, play level, multi-level, activity-based, inquiry-based learning. Why? Because this the foundational aspect of the student is given more importance in this ECCE. So these are the different stages, step-by-step process of how a child can get its proper education. So who's going to implement this? These are the different agencies who are going to implement the early childhood care and education, proper access to the early childhood education. So these are the implementations agencies, they'll be doing the childhood care. Next one, how they are going to give this universal access to education. So we have already discussed that there are a number of difficulties and challenges to bring this children to the school. So how we are going to bring the changes in the mindset of people to bring the children to school is through different forms, that is shown here, multiple pathways. So many students have been in practical, many students have been telling that they cannot come for the formal education to the schools. So this government, what in the plan, what they have suggested is they are going to provide multiple pathways for learning involving both formal and non-formal education modes. So through school and also through digital media and other possibilities, they are going to bring back the children to the school. So a recent report says that there are a number of children have been dropped out from the school. So there are some smaller steps to bring back those dropout. So as per the recent survey, we have more than 2 crore students have been dropped out from the school. So there have been some good steps provided by the government to bring out the dropout students to the school. So alternative centers. So through schools, we are providing the early education. So the government is also planned to provide some alternative measures to bring the children to the school by providing alternative centers and innovative education centers. And when they come to the school, how we are structuring the student into a good person is through peer tutoring and focusing on the different learning outcomes. And this one also brings the non-governmental and philanthropic agencies to build new schools and provide proper education for the children who are coming to the school. So it is not only the government, it also works with the non-governmental organization and philanthropic agencies. So through these pathways, the government is trying to provide the universal access to education at all levels for all the childs who have dropped out also. So how they are going to do is, first thing is to developing curiosity among the children by providing different measures to bring back them into the school. Then they are going to teach about the teamwork among the students, and how to think logically and how to solve the problems, and not only through a single mode of teaching, also through the interdisciplinary mode of arts, crafts and music, and also they are going to teach about the environmental issues. So these are some basic steps to bring the child to the school. And moving into this, these are some expected outcomes which the government has mentioned. So the first thing is universalization of access, which means I wanted to bring the students, all type of students, all sectors of the students, from the foundational level to the secondary level, that is to the school, and equal education for all the students, and all the students should be included in the education. And this one we have already discussed. 2 crores of students are out of the school as per the recent survey. So the government is planning to bring those 2 crores of the students to the school. And there is one thing called Sustainable Development Goals, that is SDG. So in SDG 4, there is one rule on the sub-guidelines provided by the UNEP, United Nations Environment Program. So these SDG goals focus on bringing back children for the schools till the completion of secondary education. So this also the government has given key focus on bringing the students to the school and fulfilling the SDG goals. And next one, after bringing back the students, the quality of the education should be more. So they are going for foundational literacy and numeracy. So this is also a simple guideline to provide proper quality in the education. So focus on 21st century skills in teaching, learning and assessment. This is through the technology. The government has implemented some digital education for the students to improve the skills in teaching. So this is also provided for faculty members. And resource sharing, this is one of the highlight of the national education program, that is sharing different types of sharing the resources available in each type of colleges and schools. So these are some other small areas where the government has provided key inputs in developing this national education program. So this is where our main presentation starts. So here we discussed about the changes in the curriculum and the pedagogy. So this is on the left side, I can see this is the existing academic structure where we were focused. And now in this national education policy, the new academic structure, this is what we discussed in the earlier slides. So they are going to provide 3 years for the Anganwadi, preschool and Balvatika, that is 3 to 6. And the next 2 years, class 1 and 2. So this is the area where the government is most focused on, the foundational level. So as you can see in the foundation level, they are going to more focus only on multi-level play activity based learning. So this is the key area where in number of interviews, different ministers have been explaining about this foundation level, where we have to properly structure this foundation level in the school education. So then move on to next 3 years, that is preparatory stage. So where here also we are focusing on play, discovery and activity based interactive classroom learning. So next 3 years is 6 to 8. So this is middle stage, and the last 4 years is the secondary stage. So our new policy will have this 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 type of academic structure. So this is about the comparison between the existing and the new academic structure. So when we told about curriculum and pedagogy, what they are going to plan is reduction in curriculum. So how they are going to reduce the curriculum? So it is provided mostly on core essentials. So whatever the student is particularly needed, those things will be taught, and those thinking should bring critical thinking in the student mind. So how they are going to teach the critical thinking is through interactive classes. And this experiential learning is nothing but play and activity based learning. So how they are going to focus on is through competency based education, to integration of subjects. This is nothing but the interdisciplinary of the subjects, and development of scientific temper. It is to bring the ethical knowledge of what is happening in the world, and this is through digital learning, and also inclusion of all languages for the study. So this is when it comes to examinations after the curriculum reduction and pedagogy is over. So there have been some key assessments or key findings from the earlier survey regarding the examinations, as the government got number of information regarding the examinations to be changed or to be changed in the mode of examination. So the government has given two guidelines on through examinations. One is from 1 to 8 grade and the other one is 9 to 12 grade. So here in this grade 1 to 8, so they are going to provide three different stages of examination to track the achievement. That is in classes 3, 5 and 8. And mostly this examinations will focus on the learning outcomes, that is LOs. And this examination will also find out the core concepts and knowledge of each and every student. Apart from the ordinary rote learning and mug-up, it will also brings back the higher order skills from the students. And this results of school examinations will be continuously monitored in the next stage, that is examinations in grades 9 and 12, including the board exams. So here, here the most important thing is this guidelines, this guidelines provided by the NCERT and in consultation with SCERT. NCERT is nothing but the National Council of Education Research and Training, and the SRT is State Council of Education and Research Training. So here in this, the national and the state boards, states will together focus on the areas where the reformation in the exams will take place. And the next step is how to provide teachers for the proper assessment system in 2022 and 23. And also there are some areas where standards, norms and guidelines for school is also taking place. And that main focus is on PARAC National Center. PARAC means Performance Assessment Review and Analysis of Knowledge with Holistic Development. So through the results of these examinations, a proper analysis will be taken care on each student, and through that the development can be seen. So here mainly they are focusing on mathematical skills for all the students, and next level is to include all the subjects. So this is the output of the examination, how the government is going to fix the progress card on basis of what the students are equipped from the exams. So here this progress card will include self-assessment, the peer assessment and the teacher assessment. So the proper assessment of each students will be carried in different stages, and also it includes the socio-economical and the psychometric domains, and the project based, that is while doing activity based learning, these important skills from each student also will be included in the report cards. So through different stages of peer assessment, the holistic progress card will also involve parents interest, and also it provides proper information about a particular children. So this one is next one after finding out the reforms in the examinations and the holistic progress card. So there are different guidelines in the school teacher recruitment and deployment. They have been conducting different tests, TETs. Already teacher eligibility tests are there in the present situation, but there will be some preparatory arrangements for different levels. For example, foundational, preparatory, middle and secondary stages in both private and public school. So there are, with the existing teacher eligibility tests, there have been some changes which has happened in the TETs. That is what strengthening the TETs. So this is also, the government is also planning to focus on the faculty members of the teachers who are very much known to technology. So those type of teachers also will be hired for the national education plan. So already there are a number of certificate courses for different categories of teachers. So that also will get inclusion in the national education policy. Here in this, there have been partnership with NCTE and RCI. NCTE is nothing but National Council for Teacher Education. RC is Rehabilitation Council of India. So these two organizations provide certificate courses for teachers. It also provides proper understanding about each student. So these are different agencies who conduct certificate courses for teacher. So it also helps in the different schools to recruit the teacher. So there are other different tests are conducted for the teachers for their proper recruitment. and also the government is very much focused on hiring the good quality teachers. So this is the next stage, where after the hiring of teachers, how the teachers are empowered. So government has given some 5 to 6 steps in improving the teacher ability and the quality of the teacher. So there have been number of areas mainly focused on technology based, and how to improve the career of the each and every faculty at different levels, and what are all the different standards provided by the government. So from 2022, there will be a different guideline called National Professional Standards for Teachers. So this will give the quality of the teacher. And teachers to have more autonomy in choosing aspects of pedagogy in classroom. They will be given empowerment in taking the different aspects in the classroom teaching. So this is about empowering teachers. So when we come to the last stage, this is about new features. Whatever I highlighted are very important in the schooling region. So now overall, in the overall mode, I'm just showing this PPT where it tells about the each section of the teaching. So preparation for schooling and elementary school level, which we have discussed. This is the foundational level where it is focused on. So it is changed into 4 groups, that is 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. That is what we are seeing. So these are some different steps or different changes which is in the National Education Plan. So the next step is school infrastructure and resources. So this one is about resource sharing between the schools. So the government is also planning to have special education zones, that is SEZ, and utilize unused capacity of schools as Samajik Chetana Kendras. So this is about resource sharing of infrastructure and resources. And next one we saw, this is holistic development of the student, how we are focusing on each student to find out the uniqueness in each student, and how we are improving the ability of the student. So these are some important points about the holistic development of the student. And the next one is inclusivity. As we have discussed about that the education policy doesn't want to miss any student from the school. So this inclusivity, which focuses on gender as well as all sections of the people. So this ultimately tells out that nobody should leave the school because of any of the reason. And importance has been given to the mother tongue and as well as local language. So that is also included in this national education policy. So next one is assessment. This assessment is for both teacher and as well as the student. So how they are assessing each category of student and teacher is what explained in this assessment. And the curriculum we have seen, that is 5 plus 3 plus 4, 3 plus 4. So how we are integrating technology into this school education, and what are the alternative modes, and what are the different aspects of skills which they are learning from the this national education plan. So when we come to teacher recruitment, teacher education, so now we have discussed about a number of examples, that is teacher eligibility test, that is TET, and there are similar other things such as NTA, then NPST, National Professional Standards for Teaching. So these are different steps which is going to be improved from the government included in a national education policy. And the last step is role of government departments, bodies and institutions, how they are going to provide funding and advisories in the national education plan. Also, after implementing, what are all the different resources they are going to provide for the national education plan and the improvement of education system in India. So this is a simple flowchart of when they are going to implement this plan, and on each of the year how it is going to change in the implementation part. So this is a sample chart of how that gets implemented. This is about early childhood education, and this is the overall NEP. So the target is on 2040. So when we implement this policy in 2021, so what will be the output is in 2040, the complete review of this policy can be seen. So that is what in each of the year, what are the implementations they are going to implement in each of the national education policy that we can see in 2040. That target is on 2040. So this is just a chart of how we are envisioning in the future, how this is going to work out in the future. That is implementation in NEP. So with that, I am concluding this school education, and I wanted to hand it over to Dr. Senthil Kumar. So he will speak about the higher education aspect in NEP 2020. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Vignesh, for your information regarding the school education.
Thank you, sir.
So now I would like to start with my presentation on higher education. So this before we start discussing about this higher education of National Education Policy 2020, I would like to recollect a few points before we discuss about the higher education. For example, sustainable development is focused on this higher education by 2030. So as already said by Dr. Vignesh, and in general, India will have the highest population of young people in the world over the next decade. So keeping this information in our mind, this national education policy is developed. So with the focus of giving education to each and everyone. That means the basic education is focused on this national education policy. And technological advances, what we are seeing in today's life is like the rise of the big data, machine learning, the artificial intelligence. So all these informations, when we are hearing, we will come to know what will happen to the human beings. Like what about the jobs? So unskilled jobs worldwide may be taken over by the machines. So this is one point. But when we talk about these unskilled jobs taken over by machines, what about the skilled workforce? So particularly all these areas are involving which is related to like mathematics, computer science, and data science. So if these informations are adopting over this artificial intelligence, then there is a demand for the skilled workforce, particularly on these areas. So this also we have to take care. And when we talk about the teaching pedagogy, like it must involve in making the education more experimental. So for example, nowadays what we are doing is when we talk about the theoretical matters, we stop with that theory informations. So we should not stop with the theoretical matter, and we have to prolong this information and how we are going to implement in practical. So such kind of information we have to think. So if we start think about all this information, then whatever we learn in theoretical mode, then we can realistic manner how we are going to face it. So all this information we will get to know. And the aim of India on education system by 2040 is that every human being of Indian citizen should learn the education, and it is fully focused on this national education policy. And particularly when we talk about the cognitive capacities, for example, foundational capacities like higher order, we know the cognitive capacities like critical thinking and problem solving, right? So critical thinking and problem solving means, for example, social, ethical, and emotional capacities we have to think. We have to think about all this information while we implement our concepts. And previous policies, as I already told by our director, sir, so unfinished agenda of the national policy on education 1986, it was modified in the year 1992. And the major developments is the policy of 1986 has been the right of children to free and compulsory education act 2019, right? So based on that, the national education policy was framed, but it was not adequate to meet the higher education for each and every one of our Indian citizens, so that this national education policy is framed in such a way that each and every citizen should have the basic education. And for example, the current scenario, what we are learning. So we are going towards the digital India, and the mode of learning is fully online medium, right? So this online medium and how each and every person can access, and how the knowledge can be implemented and improved in such a way that the exact aim of this national education policy is going to be implemented. So that is also there. And the basic principles of NEP 2020, it is like where a safe and stimulating learning environment exists, and where a wide range of learning experiences are offered. And with this too, like facility at home for digital learning. So that's what I was talking about. So everyone, we cannot say everyone is having the facility to learn the education through online medium. So how it is going to be fulfilled by the government, and it is also specified in national education policy related with higher education particularly. And the fundamental principles like flexibility of choosing courses, like for example, when we do BTech or MTech or pharmacy, BPharm, or whatever may be the course, what are all the parallel courses we can do? It's like a core diploma courses, otherwise open electives, whatever the name we want to say, we can say. But what about the credit system, right? How the open elective courses and core diploma courses credits are going to be transferred into our main course. So with that, these are all the like a few principles. And creativity and critical thinking also we have to see, and focus on regular formative assessment for learning rather than the summative assessment. And extensive use of technology is main thing here, and outstanding research, all those things. Now let us talk about the quality universities and colleges, a new vision, that is higher education. So higher education, it plays an extremely important role in promoting human as well as societal well-being and in developing India's envisioned in constitution. The first point here is the fragmented higher education ecosystem. So now the current trend is like each and every higher education institution is concentrating on some particular education, like BTech or MBA or something like that. But this fragmentation should not be available in the NEP 2020, because all the higher education institutions are encouraged by the central government to implement the courses which are not currently running by the institutions. It's like BCom, BBA. So such kind of courses also we can implement, and all such courses can be implemented, like multidisciplinary courses can be implemented in a single institution. So this is going to be implemented in NEP, and less emphasis cognitive skills and learning outcomes. So this is what I mean. So at the end of each and every course, what is the outcome we are getting from the subject? For example, if it is a theory subject, so simply we cannot imagine each and everything. But practically when we implement, we will be facing several issues, so that we can understand where we can improve. So where we can do the adjustments, so which factor we can make some adjustments. So all those informations we will come to know through the cognitive skills and learning outcomes. And limited access in socio-economically disadvantaged areas. So it's like people who are not like well versed with the English language or whatever may be the language what we use in India. So they may get such kind of ideas, such kind of courses in their local languages. So this is also focused in NEP. And limited teacher and institutional autonomy. So autonomy means, for example, the curriculum. So now according to our institution curriculum, so Jawaharlal Nehru Technological University is framing. But if the autonomous status is given to the institution, then the curriculum and other aspects can be designed by ourselves, And most probably in NEP, each and every institution is encouraged to become autonomous institution, and lack of competitive peer-reviewed research funding. So far, for example, if you take BTech holders, so as you complete, you will be having in your mind that we can go to foreign for higher studies. But what is the use? Why we are taking such kind of decision? See, it's like doing MS or whatever maybe the course at abroad. So we'll be thinking that lot of opportunities are there and lot of resources are available. But in India, as of today, the central government, they have taken the decision that to give more funding to the institutions particularly. So in this way, the government is framing this NEP to attract more PG scholars and higher educational interested students to retain in India itself. And suboptimal optimal governance and the leadership of higher educational institutions. So it is related to autonomous. So it's like every leader or the position like head of the department, or so these faculty members will be identified with their qualification and the experience, and right person should be keep at the right place. So this also framed in the NEP. And HES consisting of large multidisciplinary universities and colleges with at least one or near every district. So it's like the NEP policy is clearly stating that each and every district, at least one multidisciplinary university should be there. So they are not talking about affiliated colleges, and they are not talking about like degree colleges, all those things. So they want to create multidisciplinary universities where all courses, arts and science, engineering, and professional courses also implemented in a single university, and that should be very near to the district particularly. And one more information what they are specifying in this multidisciplinary university is, apart from the English language, the local language should be preferred for those students who are like disadvantaged of or lagging in English. And higher educational institutions across India offer medium of instruction of programs in local and Indian languages, just now we have discussed, and the curriculum, pedagogy, and the assessment. So each and every process can be decided by the higher educational institutions based on this autonomy. So this autonomy can be given based on the accreditation, and certain rules and regulations are already framed in the NEP. And if you pass through that, the educational institutions will become autonomy, then automatically they can frame their own structure. Then reaffirming the integrity of faculty and institutional leadership positions through merit appointment. So this is what I was discussing. So the each and every appointment should be on merit basis, and well qualified faculty members should be appointed, and they have to be well connected with the students through emotionally, and they can transfer their knowledge to the students also. And towards a more multidisciplinary undergraduate education, so this is what, so choice-based credit system is also implemented, and whatever the courses apart from their UG or PG they can implement. So all these informations we are going to see in near future now. And the establishment of National Research Foundation. So all the research fund will be distributed to all higher educational institutions through National Research Foundation only. So through that, so this is a single regulatory or statutory body which is going to be directly connected with the educational institutions. Yeah. Next, towards a moral, holistic, and multidisciplinary education. And before we see this moral, holistic, and multidisciplinary education, so let us think like creation of facilities and resources in India, especially in multidisciplinary universities. It's like they have framed the structure that every student should be equipped with knowledge of like practical experience. See, for example, in our college, we have the lab facilities, and they do the experiments. But what about the industrial experience? For example, AICTE is providing internship, and it's like through companies through companies, and it was verified by the AICTE, and they are offering the internship to all the students. For example, Smart India projects. So these Smart India projects are implemented already by the government. And for example, the students who are willing to do internship, and they can do that under the AICTE. And these Smart India projects are directly controlled by the AICTE. And the people who are working in Smart India projects, they are the especially students of engineering and science background. And these students can apply directly through the internship portal, which is created by AICTE, and they'll be getting minimum 6 months. And during this 6 months period of internship also, they are getting the salary also. So in this way, this government is implementing many favorable things for the students. Now let us talk about the towards a moral, holistic, and multidisciplinary education approach. The UG integrates the humanities and arts and science with the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So this is short name. It is called as STEM. And what is the information that they are trying to tell us is, for example, we do engineering course, and we may be interested in doing a science course as well. So when we want to do science course along with the engineering course, we can do some certification programs. So if we want to do some certificate programs on science, and again, for each and every certificate program, certain credit is specified. So while we do the engineering course, we can do the science course as a certificate program also. In that way, if the science student, he wants to know something related to our engineering concept, then they can also adapt accordingly. Then imaginative, flexible curricular structures, offering multiple entry and exit points with appropriate certifications, removing the rigid boundaries and creating. So here, I would like to give some information. It's like the structure and length of degree programs shall be adjusted accordingly. See, for example, the undergraduate degree will be of either 3 or 4 year duration. If you take BSc program, it's like a 3-year program. And if you take BTech, 4-year program. So in that 4-year or 3-year program, with multiple exit options within this period, they are offering. It's like a certificate after completing 1 year in a discipline. A certificate after completing 1 year in a discipline or field, including vocational and professional areas, or a diploma after 2 years of study, or BTech after 3 years of study. For example, diploma program, 3 years. So after 2 years of program, if we get some certificate related to other discipline, so the 3rd year program can be waived off, so that accordingly the credit can be transferred from the certificate program into the diploma. So in the same way, the bachelor degree program, 4 years course. After completing of 3-year course, if he is very much interested in research, so if you have any publications, good publications, the 4th year program can be considered as a research year. So that with that research oriented, he can easily complete the 4-year course. So an academic bank of credit, ABC, it is already established, and it's like a digital storage of academic credits earned from various recognized HES. See, for example, one student might have read at one place like Delhi, and unfortunately he is looking transfer to some other place like Hyderabad, and he may be continuing 3rd year. So, but he wants to relocate immediately along with his family. So that time he can relocate to other educational institution. Accordingly, his credit also can be transferred. So whatever may be the affiliated university, it doesn't matter, so that he can easily transfer his credits. So this kind of options are specified in the NEP, National Education Policy 2020, and it's like it is extended for master program also. So it's like 2 year of MTech program, for example. So 1 year program can be considered as per the curriculum of the affiliated university. But then the next year, entire 2nd year can be considered as research experience. So in this way, they are giving the options of transferring the credits, right? And the structure of master program or different designs also they can use. Like for example, if they want to publish like patents, not only the journals and the patents also considered under this program, that is master program especially. Like Then model public universities at par with IITs, IIM, etc., called MERU, that is multidisciplinary education and research university. So it is implemented and it is specified, and they have identified the places where they want to implement this multidisciplinary education and research universities also. It's like it should be like highest global standards in quality education. So it is mainly focused by the central government. So we know already IITs, IIMs are established, and NITs also established by central government. In the same way, the multidisciplinary education and research institute, research universities also will be set up by the government. And according to this NEP, more focus is on research and innovation, like innovation and incubation centers are going to be implemented in accordance with the policy, right? And the technology development centers and centers in frontier areas of research where the funding can be available, where we can go ahead with the research on our own interest area. So these are all the more holistic and multidisciplinary education which is specified in the national education policy. Now, optimal learning environments and support for students. So even in our institution also we have implemented several kind of activities. It's like appropriate curriculum. So we know the curriculum is designed by the JNTU and we are going towards that. But when the curriculum is designed for each and every BTech specialization and for each and every subject, they are clearly specifying that this is the prerequisite and this is the outcome and this is the course objective, course outcome, everything they are clearly mentioning. And in what way the educational institutions are going to be make the students to reach towards all the information specified in the subject. So this can be decided by the educational institutions on their own. And engaging the pedagogy. So the mode of teaching, blended mode of teaching can be used. So what we are doing nowadays is, because of this COVID-19 period, we are using the online mode of teaching. But the conventional mode of teaching, if we resume, even during that time also we can prefer the blended mode. So such that the time consumption of making the students to understand some concept can be easily approachable. Even after they leave from the college also, they can be engaged with this mode of teaching through online. So engaging the pedagogy is very important for the students to attain the knowledge. Then the continuous assessment. So after the information is shared with the students, the knowledge is sharing happened with the students, how we are going to assessment. So this also given to the education institution as an autonomous way, and whatever the mode of teaching methodologies we follow, we can follow. But activities like think, pair, share, and conducting the slip test, and recently in our college we have implemented peer instructions to identify whether the students are active and whether they are learning some information from the respective classes or not, right? Then club activities can be initiated. So clubs and events dedicated to science, mathematics, language, music, sports, etc. Right? It's like a open electives. They are specifying in the national education policy to be should be implemented each and every department of higher educational institutions. And framework for higher education is clearly given. And higher education means generally it is divided into two, that is undergraduate and graduate programs, and the separate information is given, but pedagogy and all they can be defined by the educational institutions on their own. So institutional development plan, so initially the vision and the mission, and how the next process is going to be implemented, so this should be mentioned. And online learning, then faculty mentoring and the guidance students, and this I think we have already implemented. But some of the informations already we have implemented in our college. It's like mentoring program we have implemented in an effective manner, and the problem solving and how the students are getting emotionally connected with the faculty members. and internationalization. So what is the meaning of this internationalization is like various initiatives mentioned in the NEP. It's like a large number of international students studying in India and provide greater mobility to students in India who may wish to visit. Say for example, one student may be read in other country like MS first year, but if he wants to transfer from other country to our India and to continue their education in the second year, so that they can continue in the same manner of transferring their credits from their university. So MOUs will be made from the government with the abroad universities also. So it's like a Vishwaguru, like affordable cost. Within the affordable cost, the higher educations are going to be offered for the international students, and this is also mentioned in the NEP. And the international students office should be established in the higher educational institutions, and each and every institute should have this, and through that the financial support for students also can be implemented through the NRF. Next, the important factor in the success of higher education institutions. It's like motivated, energized, and capable faculty, and it is purely related to the like faculty members, how they have to dedicatedly work with the institution and how they are going to concentrate on the students. So this is very important here, and it's like initiatives have been introduced in the past years. It's like career progression, systematic recruitment, and yearly like PBAS, performance-based appraisal system is also implemented to recognize and to identify the faculty members who are doing good job in their career for 1 year term. And faculty is not only depends on the experience, and certain assessment and certain identification should be done on the knowledge identification. And steps for improvement, as the most basic step, the HEAs will be equipped with the basic infrastructure like clean drinking water and blackboards, latest educational technology. I think in our institutions we have all these facilities. So now, according to the latest education technology like smart classrooms, we have already, and with that facilities, the faculty members can teach the students in an effective manner, so that the students cannot say that the theoretical manner we don't need and we need some practical oriented. So like flash videos they can play in order to make the understanding the concepts by the students in a clear manner. And teaching duties also will not be excessive, like student teacher ratio not too high, so that we know already, well, like 1:20 we are following, and according to that the student can be concentrated by each and every faculty member through continuous assessment and mentoring. And the faculty will be given the freedom to design their own curricular and pedagogical approaches. So even in our college academic policies also certain approaches are specified, but it doesn't matter that every faculty member should concentrate only on the academic policies. It's like apart from the academic policies, if they want to improve in a more like intellectual manner, they can do that. So this information is also specified, and certain rules and regulations is also there when we make such kind of approaches. So excellence will be further incentivized through appropriate rewards, promotions, recognitions, and movement into institutional leadership. So it's like the promotions and recognitions will be based only on their performance in the past record. So then and there, the performance will not be assessed. So for a certain period of time, the assessment will be done. So excellent academic faculty members should be encouraged, and demonstrated leadership and management skills also will be identified and verified before the promotions are going to be given to the certain faculty members. So this is related with academic research through a national research foundation. So already we have discussed about this National Research Foundation, how they are going to implement, how they are going to funding for the higher educational institutions. It's like, for example, a research scholar is concentrating on the patent. So initially the patent should be framed, so the intellectual idea, and that should not be created by someone. So based on all these informations, the patent will be approved by the government. So like intellectual property rights, we know already, and we used to register accordingly. So once we do that, this National Research Foundation will ask the proposals from the individual who are working in India educational institutions, higher educational institutions. And once they apply for the fund, so they will be asking for the presentation. So all these informations are clearly mentioned, and they'll be asking for our presentation. So once we give the presentation, according to our innovative idea, the funding will be released. So not earlier, like previously, the getting the fund from the government or any like companies, it is very difficult. So nowadays, what they are planning is, if the idea or if the research concept is original, so immediately the government is ready to give the fund through this NRF, National Research Foundation. So the easy way of accessing and easy way of getting the fund from the government is also clearly mentioned in the National Education Policy. It's like fund competitive peer-reviewed grant proposals. Then recognizing the outstanding research and progress. So this is what I mean actually. So when we publish a journal, for example, if the idea is original again, if it is related to society and common people can use, then immediately there is a provision from the government to release the fund also. So NRF will carefully coordinate with the other funding agencies also, not only from the government, and like companies and who are willing to invest their money in our India, in our country, and they are also talking, will talk with them, and they'll be getting the fund for the particular research oriented areas. And effective governance and leadership for higher educational institutions. So it's like for 15 years concept they have made this in National Education Policy. So already we have seen by 2040, each and every individual should have the education knowledge. It's not like as of today. So effective governance and leadership, creation of culture of excellence and innovation. It's like world-class institutions will have appointments of institutional leaders. Like world-class institution means we know the scientist. So each and every educational institution should have research-oriented people in lot. So higher value of or higher number of scientists are there, then they will be giving more importance to the educational institutions, and they will be supporting. And like leadership will be of highest quality, like, and upon receiving the appropriate graded accreditation, the board of governance shall be established. So this is what, so in the higher level of position of educational institutions, there should be like scientists and research oriented people should be appointed. And actually, so in this slide we have adequate funding and HEI in term displaying the excellence, and each institution will make a strategic institutional development plan. So all these informations already we have discussed. And main thing here is the HECA. So what is this HECA? Is Higher Education Commission of India. So now we know two regulatory bodies are there. One is AICTE, another one is UGC. So this AICTE and UGC both are going to be merged. So it's like we know already the MHRD, the name is already changed with Ministry of Education. So in the same manner, the HECA is the single regulatory body for all the institutions. So for all the institutions like UGC separately and AICTE separately, we are not going to deal with them. So this is a single statutory body, and they are going to giving permission and affiliating and all the related educational matters they are going to deal. And they have established this national higher Educational Regulatory Council, and this NHERC is particularly specified for engineering and technology. So the pharmacy and medicine field, they have the separate regulatory body, and for engineering, and we have the NHERC, National Higher Education Regulatory Council. Salient features of this higher education, National Education Policy 2020, separation of functions of the government, increasing choice and flexibility, autonomy for higher education institutions, and curbing the commercialization in education. So the first point here I would like to give you is increasing choice and flexibility. So this is what we have already given the information, like choice-based credit system, and from one institution to another institutions we can move, and accordingly the credits can be transferred, and there is no problem with the place where you are going to read, and wherever you go you can just transfer the credits. And the separation of functions of the government. So it's like in the last slide I'm going to give the information, like what are all the funding agencies and what are all the regulatory bodies we are going to deal in future according to NEP. So separate functions of the government are already established. Then autonomy, so already we have discussed. So autonomous process, it's not very difficult like earlier. So performance based autonomous status will be given for all the higher education institutions, with more courses can be offered. It's like a B.Ed or whatever the maybe, whatever the courses we can afford as per the infrastructure facilities what we are having in the college or the institution. And curbing the commercialization in education. So the commercialization in education will be removed, and probably this will be monitored in the national education policy, and certain rules and regulations also framed how they are going to monitor the higher education institutions from getting like more commercialization from the common man. Then online and digital education. So it's like we know latest technologies and what we are using. So online mode of teaching and learning process, it is happening nowadays. And for example, here I would like to give one information. It's like a SWAYAM. According to JNTU curriculum, from third year, second semester onwards, they are giving electives, and students can choose the courses from this SWAYAM. So this SWAYAM portal, if you go there, every year they are giving some time limit to enroll for the courses. For every semester, they are asking us to enroll for the courses. So you can select whatever the courses you want as per the curriculum framed by the JNTU. They are giving this information. Then accordingly, the mode of teaching from the SWAYAM is online. So most of our students, you are like the third year and the final year students, they have opted the SWAYAM courses, and they learned the subject through online mode, and they used to give the assignments also through online. And finally, after writing the examination, they are getting the certificate, pass certificate, and this certificate should be deposited to JNTU to claim their credits what they are specifying in the curriculum. So online mode of teaching nowadays, it is becoming very famous, and this online mode of teaching is particularly specified in the national education policy. So apart from your normal mode of getting certificate like BTech or whatever maybe the course we do, and we can get extra certification through this online course. And earlier, before 4 months, even in our college, we have implemented, like we asked the students to enroll for the Coursera course also. So these are all the online mode of teaching, and expansion of this existing e-learning like Diksha. So DIKSHA, it is also framed, and NCERT is also concentrating on the digital mode of learning, and especially for the education, Bachelor of Education. And each and every, like initially IITs, they have created the videos through NPTEL, right? So nowadays, each and every subjects videos are creating and establishing by the various government statutory bodies to increase the students, to increase this to increase the students' capability. to increase the students' capability and other resources. Then the adult education and the lifelong learning. See, for example, in school educations, we have seen like 5-3-3-4 concept. It's like 4 years, then 3, then 3, and then 5. It's like that is a concept. But if the student or if a child is learning from the childhood based on this national education policy, that is different. But already a person who reached the age of 25 or 35 or 55, for example, if they don't have the educational knowledge, how they are going to gain the education, basic education, at least through various mode of regulatory bodies. So the government, they have implemented various way of mode of teaching for the adult people who don't have knowledge of this education. It's like 25 age of a person, if he wants to learn the education, basic education, there is a possibility is created in the NEP. So education centers should be created within the higher education institutions, and those who are willing to learn the basic education, they can reach the center, then they can learn. So such kind of possibilities are framed. And for example, a person who is at a retirement age and he wants to know some course, or he wants to do some course, or he wants to know some knowledge, then such kind of people also can able to learn the technology through the NEP. And for them, a separate like ICT equipped libraries and philanthropic initiatives are also specified in the NEP policy by the government. So based on that, the person who are at the age of 20 or 25 or 50 or 55, whatever maybe, they can learn. It's like a continuous learning. That is called the lifelong learning is encouraged in the national education policy. Then vocational skills development. So for example, some students, they read in the intermediate level, they wants to go for higher education like engineering or medicine, like that. But if you concentrate on the vocational skills development like carpenter, but what is the course? Where is the course, and where he has to learn this carpentry work? So the educational institutions are encouraged to give such kind of courses also in the campus to encourage the skill development. So this is also specified in the national education policy. And it's like a lifelong learning. Whatever the information we want to learn, we can learn. So mode of learning is clearly specified in the national education policy. And these are all the implementing agencies of NEP 2020. So this is what I said, Ministry of Education. So MHRD is named as Ministry of Education, and all states and union territories are asked to create a center in that state for accessing the higher educational institutions. It's like a AICT. If you take the southern region center is there. So in the same way, for education, a separate center should be created by all the states. And education purpose, Bachelor of Education, NCERT, and IGNO, it is also there, and they wants to continue with this IGNO. And NCTE and NHERC, this is the new implementing agency. And school level, we know already CBSE. And through all these implementing agencies, they wants to give the education for all the people, and in all the specific areas where the people have interest to do their learning activities. So with this, I am completing my higher educational policies specified in the National Education Policy 2020. And apart from all this information, for example, if a person wants to become an entrepreneur, and various Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India, EDIA, is there, and Innovation Council is there. So through that, the students, if you want to become an entrepreneur, they can approach. And this also specified in the other area of NEP 2020. And actively they can implement in this, and the funding also provided by the government. And like MSME and like NSIC, and they started
facilitating the students, providing the fund for the right students and for the right ideas. I may not touch some points. Information what we have discussed, it is purely related to higher education, and thank you for giving this opportunity to. Javed?
Yes, yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for inviting the wonderful.
Vignesh sir, am I audible?
Yes, sir, audible.
Yes, sir, you are audible. Yes, sir, you are audible.
Can you hear me, sir, now?
Yes, yes, it's audible, sir.
Yes, 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 sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your beautiful session. Faculty and students, if you have any questions, if you have any doubts, you can please raise.
Yeah. Javed, sir? Yeah. Dr.
Yes, sir.
Venugopal, he is putting some questions here in the chat box. I would like to answer two of his questions, 2 or 3 questions I would like to answer.
Yeah. Yes, sir. If those are related with national educational policy, please address, sir. I found a few, 2 or 3
I'm
questions
going
which
to
are not related
give
with
one
us.
answer as he has asked, is the policymakers of this NEP has taken the views of stakeholders. Yes, of course it is taken, sir. 22 languages they have distributed this NEP, and also it is available in audiobook also. So it's all the stakeholders are included in this NEP. So another one is asking about the faculty welfare. So if you take the final book of this NEP 2020, from 13.1 to 13.7, there are 7 points where the NEP has discussed about the faculty welfare. So you can refer that book, you can easily get the points about what is the faculty welfare. It was mentioned in the NEP 2020. Yes, sir. Javed, sir.
Senthil, yes, sir. Senthil, sir.
Javed, I would like to answer for a question which is related
Sir,
to
if you
MBA.
go through the question. Yes, sir.
Javed. So I think
Yes,
Venugopal
yes, sure.
Janaswamy sir is asking about MBA. Can I do two specialization at a time? Yes, sir. You can do. For example, if you enrolled for MBA course, if you are doing finance, and if you'd like to do some courses related to like marketing, you can do at a time. But that course should be like a certificate course. So not like degree. So if you're doing a degree course, the level of the another course should be under the degree mode. So this is clearly specified in the NEP.
Okay, sir. Sir, now I would like to invite our chairman, sir, to speak about this session. Hello.
Hello, Javed.
Javed, I can hear you. I can
Yes,
hear.
sir.
Hello, are you
Yes, sir.
able to hear me?
Yes. Yes, sir. We can hear, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So, so all the dignitaries, director, vice chairman, and all the teaching fraternity, professors and HODs, faculty members, my dear students, welcome to this Sri Dattha institutions. And the subject today which you have taken is very new, and there are so many things to be studied still. The outline they have given, but basically, simply we can say, almost all it is US-based education. It seems the entire new policy, because the suppose any specifications and boundaries is not there. Student is interested in anywhere, they can go, he can study by degree, by way of degree method or by way of certification method. I think outline I grasped what the Senthil and other person addressed it. So,
Yes, sir.
so only ultimately the nutshell of the thing is that what I observed is, and the students and teachers are to be observed is that the assignments and anything is, if you are going to focus, they particularly they are very focusedly they should study. That is the most important thing, I think. Suppose higher level of education we are following it, micro level education policy is there. In that, more whatever you study, whatever you taught, more number of assignments are giving to the students, and student has to thoroughly prepare for that. And wherever is struck, those doubts will be cleared by the teacher. That is the object, I think. So research oriented new technologies already the IIT Bombay, which they are suggesting for the last 10 years. The entire policy is, seems to be, because it is a new policy. I am also not gone through it, but the speakers which they have given elaboratedly, they have, we have seen. So still we have to study more on this, and we should prepare. But the burden lies on the more on the teachers now, because the routine process of teaching is not permissible in the new education policy. Because now what we are doing, the teacher nowadays the syllabus already they have given, they are preparing for this particular area, they are taking classes and they are leaving. But I think now the new policy is quite similar to that, but in detail they are going it. Anyhow, I appreciate all the participants, students and faculty in new policies like this participation, and to know what is the new things. That is most important thing. I appreciate all the students basically and faculty members. But at the same time, all of you should also prepare yourself. You have to go through the new act. What is the new policy? What is the object of it? What is the outcome of it? Then I think it is the things will because these it is not applicable to these batches. I think. Am I correct, Senthil Kumar? This
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
because they from school level onwards they have to change the entire pattern. Primary school and secondary school and higher education. In that way, they have taken. So we welcome it. But teachers should ready for this new act, because most probably 2021 they may start. Is there any calendar they have given, Senthil Kumar?
No, sir, exactly not given, sir. First, they are like establishing HECA, sir, Higher Education Commission of India.
Commission
So
of India.
once they establish the Higher Education Commission of India, and they'll be implementing each and everything, sir.
Yes. But I
And
think
like
because,
the focus from 2022, sir. Because of this COVID-19 period, they have delayed. Otherwise, they might have start from like 2021.
no, 21-22. That's what correct.
Yes,
21-22. They have announced it. 21-22. They are going to implement it.
Yes, sir.
So now the teachers are ready for that. More interesting thing and most important aspect is that now teachers should, each and every teacher, those who wanted to be there in the teaching field, they should look into it, and they should prepare for as per the new education policy. So it's a very enlightening program. I wish you all the participants, and I forgotten to say too, because so many people I have addressed earlier also, I greeted. Happy New Year to all of you, by students and faculty members. I wish you that 2021 would be going to be a very good year to all the students and faculty members. Thank you, one and all, for giving this opportunity. Anything else?
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
Sir, I would like to two words for. I would like to invite our director, sir. How is the session? And
thank you, Javed. I would like to go on in the lines of what the Vice Chairman has said in the starting address. If you can go very carefully between the lines of the policy, what is being proposed by the government, you can very well see that these are the trends we already have started long back. We had started blended mode of learning long back, 10 years back. We had this research center of IIT Bombay, where one of our students had developed a operating system that can fit in a small memory size of 56 MB RAM. So these are the initiatives that were done by our college. So in that case, we can say that major policy what is drafted is already been adopted by our colleges. As Chairman Sir rightly said, that the onus now lies on the faculty. They need to change or transform. They need to unlearn what they have been learning all these years of how to teach the students and relearn the new pedagogy, and they should synchronize with the education policy. And as I said earlier also, it doesn't require investment of money or infrastructure for changing the mindset of a faculty. We need to understand that God has bestowed a greater responsibility on us to shape the future of our nation, and we are handling the careers and future of children. And you being parents, many of the faculty being parents, should sympathize or empathize that what you wish for your child, you should implement for the children of other parents also. So I hope that the new leadership that has come up in SDGI and various other departments will take up this initiative of first implementing our own college academic policy seriously. And if we rightly implement our own college policy seriously, I think we'll definitely be synchronizing with the national education policy. So the information was quite exhaustive. That's the reason I appreciate both the speakers for briefing up in a very meticulous manner to cover all the points. And as you know, students are the stakeholders here. I'm very happy that we have retained our students till the end, and they were able to understand what is the national academic education policy. I personally feel that this policy, if it is transformed into an action plan, will definitely work. Only doubt of mine is that how will this regulatory bodies able to implement in all the institutions? That is a bigger challenge they have to face. And the next bigger challenge is how to transform the mindset of the faculty. And then only this policy can be, seen in the visible form. So I thank Chairman Sir for being a person who goes perfectly with the trends and requirements of the industry and what kind of learning should go in the students. I think with the leadership of our Chairman Sir, we can definitely implement these policies. And thank you to our Vice Chairman for being back to back in 2 sessions. First in the morning and this in the afternoon. And he has definitely contributed wisely to both the sessions, which is knowledge. And lastly, I thank Javed for organizing this session. And I hope that more such informative and knowledge-oriented sessions should be conducted. And please do not forget to involve the students in all the activities we do, because end of the day, they are the stakeholders, they are the end beneficiaries, and we need to involve them in all these activities. And thank you once again to Chairman Sir and Vice Chairman Sir.
One interruption, Sameer.
Sir.
To all the principals and directors and HODs, sessions like this, you should give this task to the students and let them come and prepare, and they should address it.
Yes,
this is
sir,
more important, because
yes,
suppose if you make a categorization in this higher education, school education, or 4 categories, Senthil Kumar said. So each topic should give some students and let them prepare and let them come participate. That is the object of this new technology, new education policy, because they should have more involved. That is more important. And before they are going to exhibit, the teacher also should ready to answer them.
Yes,
So
sir.
your topic should be given to the students, and let them, they should address the gathering.
Right, sir.
They should enlighten
We
that more in future you practice it. I mean, that is most important for this now.
Yes, sir. We'll do that, sir. The coming sessions will involve them, and we'll give them the charge of designing all these things, and being a rather than being a in the audience, let them be in the organizing area.
No, because every time it is old. Because every time we are suggesting, we are addressing. But they are participating. Their attendance is there, but how much they are receiving it and how much they are contributing in these areas, we are not known. So for that purpose, generally, it's a good session now started. Is okay, but first of all, you should give a chance to the students.
Right, sir. Right, sir. Right, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, one and all, for participation and taking part. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. We will definitely implement, sir, as the suggestions. I have noted down all the suggestions given by our director, sir, and our chairman, sir. Definitely, let us implement this, sir. Surely. And one message to the participants that I have posted one form, feedback link, and a small quiz on national educational policy. Please fill it up. It will be disabled in next 5 minutes. So with the permission of our director, sir, can I close the session, sir?
Javed Garu, the session is over. Any person giving vote of thanks or something?
Yes, sir. Myself will give, sir.
So we can conclude with the vote of thanks.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. So I would like to thank our management, our chairman, sir, G. Panduranga Reddy garu, for his great support to the institutions. And I would like to thank our vice chairman garu, GNV Vibhav Reddy garu, for from the morning they are attending the knowledge sessions. Now I would like to thank our director, sir, Dr. MD Sameeruddin Khan garu, for his support in every stage, because when I went and 1 week back when I have asked sir, without any one saying, within 1 second, sir accepted it, and it's great support from sir. And I would like to thank Dr. Vignesh sir and Dr. Senthil Kumar garu. When I have asked them, when I invited them to give the suggestions, and when I invited them to give the session on this, so they accepted immediately, and they have prepared well, and every point of things they have covered. So I like to thank them, and the faculty. Thank you, faculty, for joining the session, and especially the students. So most of the students have joined, and they are enthusiastic to learn the things here about the national education policy. Surely let us, in our institutions, let us implement these things, research whatever the things, research oriented or practical oriented things. Definitely let us do. Thank you all the students for joining the sessions, and I hope all the very best for the students in their future endeavors. And with this, I would like to conclude the session. Thank you one and all for joining the sessions.